Kenneth Royal at his home in Salemburg, North Carolina, February the 12th, 2012.
I'm Kenneth Royal, the son of Randy Royal of Salemburg. My daddy ran a general store, and he used all of us children in the store. Me, my four brothers, and a sister. And we all worked there, and he was a very good role model. And I felt like I was guided pretty good during my life, because he was a good man, and he made sure that we walked straight and narrow. And we admired him a whole lot and followed his desires. After I graduated from high school, then I went to college at Wake Forest. During the meantime, before that, I was in World War II. I was drafted into the Navy, and I was in the Pacific, CDE, aircraft carrier, small aircraft carrier. And after the war was over with, I came back home and worked with Daddy, and for a while I went to college. I graduated from Wake Forest in the early 50s. After that, I came back to Salemburg, and I worked with Daddy over the years. And in my high school years, the latter part of that, he wanted to know what I wanted to do. When I started on my own, I said, "Well, Dad, I think I'd like to go in business on my own and possibly accumulate some farm properties if I'm going to stay in this area and live in this area." And he says, "Well, if you did that, if you run a good business, you don't need anything else." I said, "Well, that's true, but I don't know whether that would provide the lifestyle I wanted." So I followed what my desires were, and I was very successful at it over the years, and I'm still here. And I'm finally closed out my business at '89, retired at that point. And then during that time, I had brought in a partner with me, and a fellow, Alton Warren, and we were very much committed to each other and got along real well, fine together. He was a good guy, and so we just managed our business very, very substantially, and we did well with it. And so he's retired and I'm retired. Of course, he loves to work. I was a little older than he is, and he now works in the hardware in Salemburg as a bookkeeper a little bit. He loves the bookkeeping. I learned that early after he came to work with me, and I turned the books all over to him. I hated details. So we had a good business, had a good life. Salemburg was a small town, and there wasn't much activity in town, and I guess at that times nobody had any special programs or anything going. So the boys of my age at that time, we originated our own games. We played such things as fox and dog and capture the flag and things of that nature, and says it was a great fun. And we all had bicycles back then, and we rode those a lot. And I said it wasn't anything for us to take a bicycle on a weekend and ride 20 or 30 miles, just messing around. And one friend of the group, they had a horse and cart, and we'd go riding on that, and we just had a good life together, and there was no ambiguity in the crowd, and nobody was above the others. Nobody had money back in those days. If you had a nickel in your pocket, you had a lot of money. But nowadays you can have $10 in your pocket and ain't got no money to expensive things. But we just had a good life together.